Hi guys, this is my Premier League season prediction of the table after game week 1. I've got Southampton in the last position after getting beat 1-0 by Newcastle. They didn't look strong at all, posing no threat. I think the newly promoted side will go straight back down again to the Championship. Didn't look strong at all. They have made a few signings, but I don't think it will be enough for them to secure, to stay up in the Premier League this season. Next, I have Nottingham Forest in my 19th position. They drew 1-1 to Bournemouth, but didn't look as much of a threat as Bournemouth did. I just don't think they're there yet to stay up in the Premier League. They have the past few seasons, but I don't think they can sustain that, and I think they're going straight back down to the Championship. Next, I've got Everton in 18th position. Over the past few years, they've had some very close calls with relegation, and I think this season will be their breaking point. They haven't made any good signings, and I don't think they can do enough to stay up this season. I think the teams will overpower them, and they will go down. I've got Ipswich in my 17th spot. So, Ipswich are a funny one because they've been promoted twice from League One to the Premier League, and I think they'll have the momentum to stay up in the league this season. I think they've got the great counter-attacking skills and can fend off lots of teams like Brentford and Leicester. I've got Leicester on my 16th spot because on the opening game week, they drew 1-1 with Tottenham. They had such a good spirit with Jamie Vardy banging in a goal, and they fought back so well. I think they can stay up. I've given them my 16th spot. Wolves are in my 15th spot. They did not look good against Arsenal, and to be honest, I don't think there's much hope for them in the league this season. I've put them in my 15th spot. Arsenal were not even in first gear. They were in second or third. They were relaxing, sitting back, and Wolves still got beat 2-0. It's not looking good for them. I've got Brentford in my 14th spot. Brentford beat Crystal Palace 2-1 on the opening day, and that was a good start for them. With the loss of Ivan Toney, I don't think they can get a better finish than they did last season. I just don't think it's there for them. I've got Brentford at 14th place. So, my 13th place this season, I have Bournemouth. Because Bournemouth are a funny team. They've got lots of good players, but I don't think they have enough to get a European spot yet. They lost Solanke to Tottenham earlier in the pre-season, and even though they did look well against Notts Forest, I don't think they can get a better position. Now, Crystal Palace, they have such a strong and unique team. They're so good at attacking, but their back line is a little bit leaky. So I've given them 12th. I've given them 12th spot this season. I think they can do pretty well. Now, Fulham, I've given my 11th spot. This is because Fulham are a good side, losing 1-0 to Man United in the opening game. But it's Man United. They're a decent side, let's be real. I think Fulham can get 11th spot this season with their side. They have a strong side. In my 10th position, I've put West Ham. They've made lots of good signings, but they did lose 2-1 to Aston Villa on the opening day. With Paqueta scoring a penalty, Paqueta's a good player, but I don't know if he's enough to carry the whole team to the European spot. They can keep building on this, I think, and probably in the next couple of years get a European spot, just not there for them yet. I've got Brighton. Brighton in my 9th position. They look so good against Everton, beating them 3-0, with their new Japanese signing banging in a couple of goals. I think they can get a good position, and they might keep building on this. They might get a Europa Conference League spot soon. Maybe even Europa League. Now, I've got Man United in my 8th spot. They didn't look good in pre-season and only beat Fulham 1-0. Even though they look good on the attack, with their new signing of Delit in defence, this might mess up the chemistry, and I think their backline could be very leaky. I also have Newcastle in my 7th spot, just missing out on conference spot, because Newcastle are such a rich club. They have Isak. He is so good. He'll get a lot of goals for them this season, but they only beat Southampton 1-0 in the opening game, and Southampton are not the best team. They should have done better there. Spurs, drawing 1-1 to Leicester. They had such high hopes for this season, but coming into the game week 1, they drew 1-1, and I don't think that's good enough from them. I don't see them getting any higher than conference after that performance, not being able to put away any goals on their new expensive signing, Solanke not scoring anything. Chelsea. I think with Cole Palmer and Nkunku being back, they have such a strong side, but I don't think they're at the stage of Champions League football yet. They have such a good squad, but losing 2-0 to City and not really posing any threats, I don't think that's good enough from them. I can't see them getting any better than Europa League this season. I have Aston Villa in my Champions League spot in 4th place. This is because they have such a strong squad. Even though they lose Bailey, they have Ollie Watkins to get them so many goals. And Diaby, it's so good. I think they'll get 4th spot after beating West Ham 2-1 on the opening game week. Man City. They could go down to bottom spot if they get charged for the 115 breaches they have done. They could get relegated, but at the end of the day, it is Man City. So if they don't, I think they're going to get 3rd this season. They beat Chelsea 2-1, but 5 years in a row winning the title, I don't think it's there for them. I think they'll slip off. I now have Arsenal in my 2nd spot. They look so good against Wolves and only in 2nd or 3rd gear, but I don't think they have enough to win it. I don't think they can keep up the good momentum and get over 90 points again. They have such a good squad in Havertz and whoever else they have. They have so many good players. They got Havertz, Saka, Odegaard. It's just stacked. But I've got Liverpool as my champions this season, after thrashing Man United 3-0 in pre-season and beating Ipswich 2-0. I think they have this in the bag. The new manager's tactics could carry them to victory this season, and I think it will. They look so deadly on the counter-attack against Ipswich.